STR goes to infinity, right, theoretically, and you sell one share at infinity, and now and then you buy all the Bitcoin in the world, this one guy lost all his money, but everybody that was a previous shareholder now is sitting on the infinite, all the Bitcoin.
All right, obviously, there we have it. It's been confirmed the dilution is accretive.
Well, the dilution is accretive as long as your NAV is positive, 100%, right? But it's like Ponzi-nomics, right? So it's like, how long is that going to go on for? It might go on for a long time. Like, I just don't like... I mean, forget me. We're just analyzing trade.
Yeah, but your function of paying attention to the NAV is like, even let's take it one step further. The NAV starts to close from 4 to 1 to 3 to 1, but the total Bitcoin per share has tripled or doubled. Like,
okay, hold on.
You as somebody who's paying attention to the Bitcoin... instead of paying attention to the Bitcoin per share, you're paying attention to the NAV premium.
I understand.
You would think, or sorry, maybe not you, but a lot of people would think, I was right.
Let me ask you this. If the NAV went to fair tomorrow, do you think Michael Saylor would be in a position to accrete his Bitcoin in a non-dilutive way?
We saw him accrete Bitcoin at a higher than zero Bitcoin per share price through all of 2022 when the premium was at 1.
But when the premium is 1, my point is like, let's say you have, one share is worth 1 Bitcoin, and then you issue and your MSTR is worth, 1 Bitcoin's worth, like one company owns 1 share of Bitcoin. If that's your fair price in the market, sorry, 100 grand, I'm slow here. If you go and issue 1 more share, and you raise 100 grand, you have 2 shareholders, 2 shares out, and you have 2.
Yeah, but you're raising 100 grand to buy the Bitcoin.
1 Bitcoin.
Right. And even in the scenario where
but your first share is not increased.
No. But even in the scenario where the premium was 1, Michael Saylor was able to increase the Bitcoin per share by raising that.
But no, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. All of 2022, the premium to NAV was 1. Yeah. And he accreted a 2.5% increase in Bitcoin per share. There was a Bitcoin yield in 2022 when the premium was 1 to 1.
Yeah, it's a bit
complicated. He didn't do it through an ATM, but he was still able to do it.
But that's okay. So now that's fine. So this goes back to my point that if you're doing it, the way that he did that is he issued converts, right? Mostly.
Yes.
And what happens when he issued converts is he levered up, right? So there's a portion of this is an equity option, which is priced fair because NAV is fair. The other portion is vanilla bonds, right? Vanilla debt. So anybody can increase their Bitcoin exposure by taking on vanilla, by borrowing dollars. And that's going to be quote unquote accretive to you. But it's just a leverage play. There's no reason for you to be worth more than you were before you did. You're just more exposed. So it works, as long as you rally, and then it doesn't if just how margin works, right? Like if you had bought in the same environment, if you had bought bid X, you're probably done, similar or better. I mean, it's not comparable because it's not the same leverage. But my point is, if all you're doing is borrowing dollars to buy more Bitcoin, yes, you're getting more Bitcoin per shareholder, but it doesn't make you more valuable because your liabilities have gone up by as much.
For fuck's sakes. Yeah, what do you think about Taylor's example where he says, they're basically like an oil refinery, so if you look at, like, let's say, ExxonMobil, you can't really do like a, NAV on the petroleum they have because, they're refining the petroleum and making gasoline and diesel and all these different things. So, like, with MicroStrategy, if you're looking at the net asset value of the Bitcoin, it doesn't really translate because, they're offering that as a product to, all of these different retirement portfolios and, asset managers and all that stuff.
I mean, listen, they're able to fundraise over NAV. That is accretive to existing shareholders. In the sense that you could say Exxon is, refining oil that's accretive. As long as NAV is positive and it keeps going, then yeah, that's a positive, that's a lucrative business, and it can go on for a long time. So, but it's, it's still it's still Ponzi-nomics, right? It's like people are happy to buy something for more than it's worth, and it's accreting value to existing shareholders. And I think the reason they're doing it is because they're confident people are going to keep doing that. So that's fine, but that's your bet. Like, I don't like betting on, forget me, I keep going back. It's like, that's the bet. The bet is NAV will sustain enough that you will issue accretively to you long enough that you'll you'll end up with 4x your position, right? Like, you have two options. If you buy $100 of MSTR, you can buy $100 of Bitcoin, or you can buy $100 of MSTR. Okay, one right now has 4 times the Bitcoin exposure. That's if you bought Bitcoin directly. Option 2 is you buy MSTR, and you hope that through their accretive issuance of inflated stock and converts, which is currently the case, they're going to end up with more than 4 times the Bitcoin exposure that they have right now. Fair bet, it might happen, and then you end up on top. But it stops happening the day that NAV goes to zero. And it happens better if NAV keeps on increasing. That's the bet. I have no read on how this premium is going to evolve. That's literally how it works, like how it can happen. The only other thing they can do if NAV is not at zero is borrow dollars and buy more Bitcoin. But that's just pure, dollar leverage. And you can do that yourself. Maybe not quite at as good conditions, but pretty close. And they have no edge in that. So the only edge they have right now is, for some reason, the market has decided to give them an inflated value. And that's it. It's like, that's the bet. It might keep going. It might get better. It might get worse. But that's your bet. And that's like an extremely weird psychological bet on the market. It's like, I don't know how you figure how long this train will ride. But the one thing I don't believe is that at the end of this ride, and this might be 10, 20 years out, like that NAV doesn't eventually come in. Like, if you go theoretically,
I believe everyone understands that. Has to go to
well, I think Huddle is somehow convinced that, or he was making the case the other day that I think the theory was like, if you have a large enough stash of the most valuable thing in the world, that gives you an edge to monetize it somehow, which I don't personally understand, but there was an intuition he had. So, I don't know. But 4 times, if MSTR acquired all the Bitcoin in the world, and Bitcoin acquired all the monetary premium in the world, and that was it, you're at that end game, like, how could they be worth multiples of all the wealth in the world? Like, that just doesn't, nobody could support that price, right? Because everybody would be broke. MSTR would have it all. So I don't know how long term this premium can sustain. But, it probably will have a massive bear market at some point, and it'll just flip, It kind of reminds me of GBTC at the time. It's like you're trading this premium is what you're doing by buying MSTR. Like, it could inflate some more, it could deflate.
Yeah, right now the NAV is 2.92.
Yeah, it's like, I think it peaked at 4 when we hit 540. It was like 4-ish. I don't know. And what's true is, like, if you have a spike in the NAV, let's say you went to 10x or 15x, and he does like an at the market offering for like market cap, which, now you're running into the numbers because it's worth what, $100 billion or 90 billion, whatever. If you want to capture that 4x, if you issue full market cap, I think you collapse it by 50%. Forget how the math works, but I think that's right. So you'd have to issue $100 to $300 billion and then buy Bitcoin with that.
Are you implying that these convertible bonds are not accretive?
No, they are, because the equity component is also based off inflated NAV. But what I am implying is, if you were to do a vanilla bond, it would just be leveraged. So you can think of leverage as being accretive, but I don't think it is. It's just increasing your risk profile. But it doesn't make your value go up if you issue more of it. It just makes you more exposed in both directions. Whereas the converts, for sure, they're acting like an equity raise because there's a fat call option in there. Those are valuable options. They're not. It's not like issuing straight up stock. Because I think the call option must be worth 30% or something, or 35. Like it would be more. I think he should just be pumping stock offerings all day long. I think that's what he should do.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I think it's fiduciary.
Fiduciary duty. I agree with that.
Yeah, duty.
100%. But
You should be selling ATMs all day long.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense to do both, because there is a market for converts.
But that's what I can't understand. Why is he not collapsing the NAV?
Because I think because of memenomics. I think people have convinced themselves.
No. It's impossible to say he can't. It's impossible to say they got to know how much they could do this by, right?
What do you mean?
But he's limited by how much he can borrow at a time. He can't just borrow.
I agree with that. Yeah.
He can do ATMs, right?
He could do secondaries all day long. Yeah. I think he should. Theoretically, if your stock price is materially north of your fair, you should be doing secondaries all fucking day. So he should have been doing it from 1.5. Now he's at 3 to 4. He should be issuing $100 billion of stock today and buying Bitcoin with it. But I mean, I don't know if the market could absorb that or would care to. So there is some rationality to being slow about this, or not crazy.
Sure.
Quick. Yeah.
Sure. But it's been steadily climbing up for a while.
Well, I know, because right now the whole world thinks we're going to 1 million by year end, right? Or a lot of people. So there's a narrative that is built around MSTR, which is they're just doing the full speculative attack playbook. And I mean,
this is so
Bitcoin, for sure.
bullish for Bitcoin and so bearish for
100%.
MSTR holders. That's what I think.
It's not. It's somebody at the end of this trade is going to get fucked. I can guarantee you that part, right? So somebody at some point is going to pay peak NAV, and then it's going to deflate, and they're going to get fucked, right? But that could be years down the line. It could be a lot of money down the line. I just don't know.
But
you are
that's what I'm
playing
saying. It's going to be last man out, at some point.
Which is fine. That's Ponzonomics. That's fine. That's the game. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's what you're doing. You're hoping enough people come in that you're going to make more than 4x in accumulation versus just buying Bitcoin now. I mean, personally, if I was to look at the landscape right now, okay, I could throw $100 at MSTR and get $25 of Bitcoin, or I could throw $100 at MSTU and get, BitX and get,
MSTU
$200 worth of Bitcoin.
Better fee.
No, MSTU is the double long MSTR. Yeah. No, BitX or BitU.
MSTX is also long MSTR, but it just has worse fees than MST.
Isn't MSTX the short one?
No, that's MSTZ.
Oh, MSTZ, right. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, if I had $100 today, I'd rather go 2x actual Bitcoin than long a quarter Bitcoin, hoping it would get to 1 Bitcoin. That's how I think about it. But it's obviously not the same because, something like BitX is doing daily rebalancing. It's not great long term because it compounds down. But, especially now that we're 100 grand, I'd rather play 2x leverage.
BC1, so here's a scenario that I was asking about that I haven't heard the answer to yet, which is, let's say that Bitcoin falls 50% over the course of, 2 weeks. Which is not that crazy given Bitcoin's history. And then MSTR at the same time as everyone's selling off, the premium on MSTR not only goes to 1x, but we saw it went to 0.5x. So let's say it went to 0.75x, which honestly, if that happened, I would buy MSTR. But yeah, negative or 1 or 1.1. And since MSTR has been borrowing basically against their equity, which has sort of been pumped up, is there a scenario where suddenly they have to start unwinding and they're forced to sell their Bitcoin because of, an 8x drop? Or maybe if they go to 5x first and then this happens where it's an 8, 10, 15x drop in USD terms.
Yeah, I know
That
they've
basically
done
they
a
have to
couple times.
unwind and start selling, and it
I-
further makes Bitcoin drop.
So as far as I understood recently, their corporate cash flows right now can cover the bond interests. So, and the other thing is they're issuing long dated bonds. They're not really doing margin buying. They did a little bit in the last cycle. I think that's gone. Pretty sure. I'm not sure. So basically, they just have these long dated convertible bonds. Convertible bonds don't mature for 5 years, and the reason he does this is he believes in 4-year cycles, which so far he's correct. And like in a bad downturn, he doesn't owe anybody anything until hopefully you're back in the bull cycle, which is what happened this first time around. So I don't really see that happening personally. But there is a point where if they keep on issuing convertible debt, where conceivably now they're doing converts as well, so that they have close to zero, rates.
Oh, okay,
So
so
I
with
feel
those
like-
bonds, though, what if the bondholders get spooked? Are they ever allowed to say, we want out, and,
Nope.
and
Nope.
force?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. These are terminal instruments, and they have to wait until the time's up. They get in trouble if Bitcoin has crashed enough 5 years down the line and they can't pay back the debt. That's how they die. Now, as Bitcoiners, that seems like an impossible scenario to us.
Yeah.
Because 5 years out, no Bitcoiner thinks Bitcoin is going to be under 100K. But that's the exposure, right? Which is why we're all like super gung ho on long term leverage. It's like speculative attack with a lot of lead time.
What about
And I think that's a fine bet. As a Bitcoiner, I think that's a totally fine bet. 100%.
like Mara right now? They're trying to basically do the same strategy. I guess
Yeah.
2 years ago, MSTR the NAV was like, what is it, like 1 or 0.5 or something like that. And then you can
Yeah.
basically ride that up until 3x NAV. What NAV is Mara at right now with their Bitcoin?
It's tough to say, right? Because they have a meaningful part of their valuation as their business. So they have earnings. So
Their
now
business
MSTR
is totally valueless.
is it?
Yeah, I think
I have
that's
no
why
idea.
they're trying to do the MicroStrategy.
Yeah, they've never made
feel-
any money mining.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I feel like that's maybe the bigger risk for MSTR is enough, mid-cap companies with no prospects just adopt the playbook. Then now you can do the same at fair NAV with somebody else.
Yeah, I think the
Like I feel like now you
PE of
need big
Mara
enough
right now is
players that
31.
can issue stock and converts and whatever. But if MSTR is the only one traded at inflated NAV, they literally do have a competitive edge. It's the weirdest thing in the world, because they can print money at inflated values. So
Yeah,
until you
Mara-
can do that, all you can do is get leverage.
Mara's PE ratio right now is 24.1. And, it's pretty high.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But like
It's an
MSTR,
interesting phenomenon.
Oh, give me a call.
yeah, MSTR negative 199.
Wait, MSTR what?
The PE for MSTR is negative 199 price to earnings. But the NAV
Wait, I
obviously is
thought they were
different.
making some money. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now they're going to be able to actually report profits on their Bitcoin, so that's nice. So I think, is it because the accounting rules haven't taken effect yet? Like the new ones?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they should have. Well, I actually have no idea when they take effect. Like, pretty soon, MSTR is going to be reporting, crazy earnings, because they just made all this shitload of money on Bitcoin.
Yeah, they said last time when they, borrowed 1.5 billion, they captured 750 million. But in that trade, but I don't know, how they did that exactly. Yeah, where can I find the Mara NAV for their Bitcoin? I don't even know how much Bitcoin they have.
don't know.
British, have you ever heard of a gamma squeeze?
Did you see the post I posted in the chat? I'll get hot.
I'm new and I'm here to help. I love it. That's how we get our Omega candle, with a gamma squeeze.
No, Hodo came into the room earlier and mentioned that he was talking to Sunset about the possibility of that.
Yeah. I don't believe it until Samson Mao tweets. That's how we get our Omega candle. So when he tweets it, I will believe it.
It was very funny because Jenseth was like, yeah, the gamma squeeze. And Hoddle's like, yeah, the gamma squeeze. So I've heard that word. How does that work mechanically? And then Jenseth like broke it down. And Hoddle's like, fantastic, I'll tweet it out.
Well,
I tried
tweeted something. Yeah,
I tried to explain it, and I got nerd shamed, so I'm good.
I heard it. It was good. I think Jenseth tweeted something out about gamma squeeze. So, all right, now the meaning shall.
You know what that is? This gamma squeeze thing is their officially new meme narrative that they're going to use to take the nav to 8x. That's what this is.
There you go.
Beware the gamma squeeze.
Yeah, it was just born, and now it's going to become a reality.
In July 2020, the NAV premium was above 6.
And BC1, the other joke we had on that call was that eventually sellers' next bond buy is going to be able to do negative yielding debt, and that's going to become earnings from MicroStrategy. Because then you're just going to get cash flow, right? Yeah, that's a good narrative, right? Like they're going to get paid to buy Bitcoin.
It's hard to do because it's hard to call bondholders the payments, but if you put your strike at the money, you could justify that. Not very
Well, that
creative.
was suggested already before that if he did that, he'd probably get it bought up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any converts have been priced that way. Typically, they like to issue like 0 to a quarter base % of interest. But you could also have a lower strike and then just have less than principal, like repaid at maturity, for example. It'd be weird though, very unconventional. Anyway, I think it's fine to just get his accretion from selling stock 4x. I think that's
if I'm looking at this right, it looks like the Marathon premium is higher than MicroStrategy.
I mean, there might be a valuation to the business is the tricky part. Even if they're not making money. You know.
Yeah,
They have
I mean,
assets.
they have assets,
assets and stuff.
exactly.
And they have assets. That's a good point. Yeah. It's easy with MicroStrategy now because the rest is worth zero virtually.
How dare you? I've used
Bitcoin.
MicroStrategy software. How dare you?
Really? How was it?
In 2016, 2017, yeah, it was pretty rough. Like when
Was it this kind of software where you were like, this company should probably just start buying Bitcoin instead of running this business?
I should have given that idea.
Is the kind of software the government uses, so you know.
No, it 100% is. Yeah, like
Today, Deutsche Bank uses it. It's used all over the place.
I looked at like videos of people using it, and I was like, oh my god, this is exactly like the database garbage that I had to use for like DoD contracts working at like Pratt and Whitney. Like it is fucking atrocious.
They're just basically, they have captured government contracts basically, right? So they survive.
A bunch of the banks use it also.
Someone else must
use it on top of that.
But it's probably worth like $1 billion or $2 billion, something like that. That's what they were worth like before they bought Bitcoin. So, you know, it's all Bitcoin now. Even at fair NAV, it's all Bitcoin.
Yeah, so like the way Rodolfo has it on Bitcoin treasuries, he shows it as like the USD value of the Bitcoin divided by market cap, and that's like MSTR is at 34.24%, and Marathon's at 32.24%. You know, which makes the NAV higher
Bitcoin
on
versus
Marathon. Yeah.
But again, like,
Right, yeah, no,
investing some massive value.
It's the funny thing about Marathon is like they basically were doing like the stupid version of MSTR, which was like instead of buying Bitcoin, they just kept buying up fucking ASICs, usually with nowhere to plug them in, which is like the most retarded idea.
Yeah, if they have nowhere to plug it, that's retarded.
They did eventually find places to plug them in, but they sat on ASIC
Probably do
like
ASICs
forever.
is basically a Bitcoin proxy, right? I mean, if you're a miner, I sort of get the idea of it. It's like you're specialized in mining equipment, and mining equipment is going to go up faster than Bitcoin in a bull market. It's probably the idea.
Yeah, well, the really annoying thing in the last bull market was that they basically just bought up all the ASICs and drove the price of ASICs through the roof for all of their competitors, which was very annoying as a
I mean, that's a market for you.
Right. Yeah, and something a lot of people don't realize about Marathon is they largely don't like own or operate any of the facilities. They just like buy up ASICs and then get them hosted. But I think they have started. Yeah, that was like their whole game was just buy up fuckloads of ASICs and then find companies to host.
So they're like
the ASICs
for ASICs.
Yeah, and you know, but they have. I think from when I last looked, they did start buying some of their like providers, basically, but they still don't really. You know, they just are now like the parent company of their host. It's a weird business model to me.
It doesn't sound very sexy.
And I think they realized, like, hey, we're really good at taking out debt and getting fucking loans. Why do we keep buying up ASICs with this? Why aren't we just buying up Bitcoin with
Bitcoin.
it? It makes way more sense.
Yeah, the market's coming around to it. This is another thing in this whole MSTR debate is it's going to get a lot harder for them to accrete if Bitcoin goes up very quickly. So there's this weird effect where, like, you know, let's say you were to go to $1 million overnight. Okay, well, now they have to buy $4 trillion of Bitcoin. I don't know if I'm doing the math right, but like probably too much that they could actually get to 4x the stash. So, but you know, their Bitcoin stash would go up in value, but probably Bitcoin going up a lot is like not good for them right now. But as they're buying it, they're making Bitcoin go up. So there's a bit of a
Yeah, it's a weird revolving door.
There's a bit of a toxic dynamic here where, yeah, like, they have to buy a lot really quick, but as they do that, they're going to make the price go up, and it's going to make it more expensive and harder for them to do it.
Realistically send humans to Mars.
Great for us, though.
I have
Really.
strong views on that. My read of the history of space exploration.
Like, as a Bitcoiner, even if you're on the sidelines on MSTR, it's still, like, awesome dynamic. What I do wonder, and again, like, they probably don't get in trouble, like, they have to force liquidate, but if we have this phase where all these companies just start leveraging up to buy Bitcoin, like, I feel like you could get 3 hours capital on the bear market, like, times, like, 100. Because, like, if all of a sudden, like, all these stocks go to fucking zero, people start to freak out, they start to dump Bitcoin and to start covering their debt loads and whatever, like, this might create insane vol event in a bear market if, like, this trade ballooned and everybody started doing it. Now, the other option is we hyper Bitcoinize and we don't have a bear cycle. But if we have, like, a big full-fledged thing and now companies have borrowed trillions of dollars to buy Bitcoin, like, this shit could get, like, really ugly on the way.
It's funny, so using the same metric I said before, like Semler Scientific, they're at 26%, so they're at like a higher NAV than MicroStrategy.
Well, yeah, but they do have. But the problem with all these things, these people that have just gotten started, you have to look at their valuation before they started buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
because
Semler had like,
and then you basically you want to subtract it from current market cap, and sort of it's tricky because it's going to evolve. But
right,
it's like you have to wait until their business becomes mostly Bitcoin, and then it becomes an easier calculation. But it's still too early for these guys. But yeah, they're mostly worth their business value at this point, so can't really look at it.
Yeah, I think with Semler, I don't think they were like basically like a penny stock. Like they didn't really have much value. But they're the new kid, so it got bought up like crazy.
They were worth like $500 million or something. And then Rumble's like $1.5 years. I mean, Rumble's not. But like if Rumble were to start today, it would kind of be like when MSTR started, size-wise. So that would be something to track. But you would have to kind of, if they bought Bitcoin and their market cap doubled, then you could say, okay, well, there's $1.5 years of company exposure, of company value, and $1.5 years of Bitcoin exposure, and then you could run your math on that $1.5 years.
In BC1, you want to hear the next level of the Ponzi hype?
Oh, I sure
Instead of just buying Bitcoin, they should just all buy MSTR shit.
Yes, they should. They should buy MSTU. They should just buy MSTU. I was talking to my friend the other day who had like no exposure to crypto at all. He's like, crypto's a Ponzi. I'm like, well, but I've heard about this MicroStrategy. Like, yeah, what you heard? He's like, well, obviously the guy is like committed tax and accounting fraud several times, so he's basically like gonna convince everyone that he's a bunch of Bitcoin and then like run off to some Caribbean island one day. Like that's funny that's the only thing.
It's the new blockchain, not Bitcoin, not MSTR, not Bitcoin.
MSTR, not Bitcoin.
I'm in it for the underlying MSTR technology. I'm gonna go tweet that out.
Level tech is real, Rob.
I had a good one That was there will only ever be 205 million shares of MSTR until
That is
tomorrow.
not true at all.
Until tomorrow. Literally, I ended the tweet
Until
with
tomorrow.
until tomorrow.
I saw that one.
I mean, when dilution does not become accretive, or because that's going to end, those memes will just come back to haunt people.
I already did my disclosure post saying don't sell your Bitcoin. I'm here for the shitfest. Yeah.
That would be the story of this next cycle. If at the end, after like 3-4 years, Saylor just runs off with everyone's Bitcoin, and it's like Quadriga CX or whatever FTX part 2.
I think it's more likely the US DOJ indicts him for something and they just seize Bitcoin. That becomes the US government's US
Or
ticket
that.
buyers.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
there-
nasty. Oh, Rob. That's just mean.
The MicroStrategy office headquarters in Virginia is like 5 minutes from Langley. Like that's a very like not crazy elaborate theory is that it's a spook operation.
Yeah, there's some storylines for me.
It looks like Semler, before they started buying, their market cap was about 175 million.
What was it, 175 million?
Semler Scientific's market cap before they started buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're pretty small. You need like people that can issue converts, and you need like the full package.
Yeah.
It's like you need the $2 billion market cap companies to just that are in like zombie corporate mode to just wake up. I mean, it's true that Michael Saylor is like a very quite an outlier. Like this guy that managed the company for 30 years, and he went through, and he's very like technically avant-garde in a way. Any kind of standard corporate structure is not going to go full throttle on this trade. But enough people do it. This is going to get interesting.
this kid. So he's 18 years old. He started developing language models when he was 8. I'm like, what? I was like playing with Legos at 8. Like, what the hell kind of life do you have where you're like, oh, I'm 8 years old. I'm a genius. I'm going to develop, here, I just saved the world. That's cool. Did you clean your room, though? Anyway, it's a really cool background story of the people who created that.
After you're saving the world, do the damn dishes.
Right? Who's gonna walk the dog, okay? Did you build a robot for that yet? No? All right, then.
Yes.
Also, the glass is like 30% off for Black Friday if anyone wants to waste somebody like me.
Has anyone seen the test robots?
Oh
They're
my
really
god.
No.
They were not real, actually.
iRobots.
Yeah.
I
They were
read that
controlled by
book.
humans.
Yeah.
I read that book, iRobot.
I don't
19.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's all this fantasy worlds. It's too much, man. I don't.
Not that
It's
much
hard for
fantasy.
some.
Wait, where do I find these robots?
They're like $20,000, and to Zach's comment, it's hard for some people to move forward, especially on this app. Sadly, are you talking about? Which are you talking about? Like from that rumor? Was that? I'm confused. Anyways, oh good. Hey Derek, welcome. You guys are welcome up.
I sent everybody invitations.
Namaste.
Namaste. What's up? How are you? Good to see you.
I'm just listening in right now. The adventures of the day, and I was just here to chill, and I just want to offer, if it's mine to procure just groovy vibes, and let's just chill. May no trolls show up in this house. Namaste.
That's why I like you, man.
Nice. Here we go. Yay.
That, and I constantly try to play in my head if you're Tommy Chong or the dude. But one of those characters, I think you could play perfectly. Or both of them. Oh my god, Tommy Chong played the dude. Voiced by.
Zach, come hang out with us.
Everyone's doing it. Don't you want to be cool? Don't you want to have friends?
We're all in this together.
Hey, peer pressure works every time.
Hey Zach, welcome to the room.
I'm eating dinner.
Oh nice, what you eating?
Afiyetosin.
Microwave chicken.
Oh nice. Good to hear. I think I've been in spaces with you all, but I don't, I've seen Gary around.
Trying to say I'm fat?
What'd you say?
Are you trying to say I'm fat?
No, he's saying you're in shape. Round is a shape.
I've seen you around, what I'm saying is, on Clubhouse,
Ethan, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Looking stout. You're looking really stout. You're doing a great job. Carry on.
Okay.
I'm the one that's fat.
See, again, I don't want anybody to shame anybody for their weight.
I do. Myself.
I think we need to move forward and not have that mindset,
Oh, I'm not ashamed of being fat. I can say it all day long. There's no shame in it.
Right.
I can work this. Look at this. Look at it. I'm awesome.
Look at this. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Right? Who else could look like a lava lamp while they're running? This bitch. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that is
No, you
brilliant.
can't. You could have 2 years ago, Colin. You cannot.
Girl, I'm down to an A cup, but yeah.
You're not one of us anymore. Stop trying to fit in, right?
Oh, Hillary, that was brilliant. I'm so using that in the future. Who else looks like a lava lamp while running?
Oh my god.
Like a garbage bag full of hot buttermilk.
We need to embrace each other. We need to love each other, but we don't need to come on an app and you can embrace it on the app, but other people shouldn't be talking down on body weight.
No, there's a difference between talking down, shaming with a purpose, and just trying to encourage. There's three separate incidences for each thing. So I'm not body shaming myself or others through talking down. I actually body shame myself to encourage the healthier habits in myself. So if I ever step out of line with you, Ethan, just please let me know. Most of the things I say are out of sarcasm and just jokingly.
I have a stick. Take the stick. Beat Gary with the stick. Anytime he gets on the line, you just reach up there and you schwack. He knows it's coming.
No, Hillary, you're the only one who can do that to me, Mama.
Gary. And see, I didn't know that. Gary, thank you for letting me know that, you know?
Transparency is the best key to friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to say something. Okay.
Go ahead.
I appreciate the honesty and just directness, Gary. Really do. Can we move forward now?
Yes, put one foot in front of the other.
I'm keeping the theme of the room going.
I don't know.
I've come a long way to look back.
I don't know what I've started, guys.
I think it's hilarious.
No, because earlier, you guys should have been here earlier. Earlier, I was not happy. Earlier. I wasn't at all.
Well, that was then. This is now. We're moving forward. Are you happy?
Yes.
We are moving forward.
We are moving forward and being nice to each other.
We're living in a new world, Ethan.
Yes.
Can somebody hurry up and become like a millionaire or something, get really rich so we can all just go to a water park? I just think right now would be a really good time to go to an indoor water park. Who's with me?
I'm trying. I like that idea.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
I've been to indoor water parks. I went to Grey Wolf Lodge one time and it was really hot and disgusting in the water park.
Really? See, I always see the ads for that place, and it looks like it'd be really cool, but it also looks kind of small. Is it small?
It was horrible, the water park. Horrible. I was sitting in the water park with the water off, and it was hot and nasty and disgusting. I went there for a Gen Z conference.
That's hilarious.
Yes, it was interesting. It was so weird.
Marley, come up.
Tracy, that's what we need to do. We need to do a conference, all right, for just comedians, and we'll do it at a water park, and we'll get everybody else to pay our way. So, yeah, well, yeah. Hold on, that was on something.
Comedy and water park.
Can we do it at a fictive hotel?
The jokes write themselves.
Why don't you do, I have a better one. Why don't you do a comedy event at a Nickelodeon hotel and do stand-up at the water park?
Slime and comedy. It's like
and
being
then
an
you guys, and then everybody who does their comedy skits gets to get slimed by everyone else.
Can we define, moving forward, I need a definition of slimed.
Slime, meaning like...
Sorry, we had you sign an NDA. We don't have to discuss anything with you.
Nickelodeon does this thing where when they win a Kids' Choice Awards, they basically, as a joke, their logos, their marketing is slime. And so they slime everyone who wins.
No, they have to say, I don't know, to get slimed.
Well, I mean, that hotel has slime.
You only know that because you can't do that on television. He's from Canada. And you got Degrassi. Man, you got all the cool shit. And Kids Incorporated, not Kids Incorporated, 3, 2, 1 Contact. Maybe Canada isn't so bad.
Didn't Nickelodeon?
Yeah, they gave us
have
Ryan
that one
Reynolds.
cat who did that foot fetish shit, and it came out. I'm just curious. Do you remember that?
That was the on How I Met Your Mother, right? Robin's character, Robin Sparkles, her Canadian alter ego.
I don't know. But yeah, that's my idea. All the comedians meet up. They go to the Nickelodeon hotel and they do stand-up comedy. And then everyone gets slimed. It'd be amazing to see everybody's reaction of getting slimed. It'd be great.
You just want to get invited to get slimed, huh?
No, I want to be invited so I can watch the comedians do their gig.
And then get slimed.
Yes, and I would be the one controlling who got slimed.
There you go. See it?
And the most funniest joke, the more funniest the joke is, the more slimed you get. Poor 2 times.
Okay, but we're not inviting Lisa Lampanelli because she's gonna get a whole. Never mind. Let me stop.
That would be really funny. I would slime the people with the most funniest jokes. And maybe we would put money and people would bet money. Who would be slimed first, and it would be like a whole game. That'd be really fun. I would love to do that.
I am down. Let's do this.
We just have to figure out how much it costs to rent out the entire hotel. And then we would have to get some sponsors to pay for the, the marketing behind it. And then what we need to do is we need to get, like, all the comedians out there.
Sounds a lot like work. See, I'm at the age where I just want to say, I'm having a party, and then everybody comes. And that's it, like, period. I mean, yeah, you got to pay a little bit of a cover fee, but, dude, get the party with Hillary and Tracy. Come on now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my innovative idea. I think it would be a funny TV show if we did that. Comedians get slimed. Awesome. Let me put that one in my back pocket. But yeah. That's what we're talking about today. But yeah, that's what's going on.
Alright, I gotta break this frame to be able to realign my canvas.
All
It's
right.
gonna get loud and dangerous, so I'm gonna have to get out of here for a second. I'll come back in a little bit, but I got one of those frames that like it literally breaks the frame and it lets you like build your own frames and stuff. It's pretty cool. So I've been buying up a bunch of like Goodwill old pictures for like $2-3, you know, and with the wood frames. They're really pretty old wood frames, and now I'm about to frame my own work with them, and it's gonna be cool. I hope. I'll let you know how it turns out. Or I'm gonna like put a nail through my hand. I'm not sure what's gonna happen yet.
Yeah, one, I can pay my taxes with it. I can withdraw unlimited funds every day. Normal, you got your Zionist debit card?